Hi guys, my name is Mackenzie Boyette, and today I'm going to be informing y'all about attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, also known as ADHD. What is ADHD? ADHD is one of the most common brain development disorders of childhood. It's usually first diagnosed in early childhood or sometime in childhood, and it usually follows you to adulthood. Children with ADHD usually have trouble paying attention, controlling their impulsive behaviors. They don't think before they act, and they don't think about the consequences before they act. And they also can be overly active. This has to do with the hyperactive part of the disorder. So like I said, ADHD deals with brain development, and these are the parts of the brain that it affects. So first we have the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex deals with attention, behavior, and emotions. Whenever this part of the brain is affected, attention is switched easily whenever you have ADHD. Next is the basal ganglia. The basal ganglia is a part of the brain that regulates communication. The ADHD brain usually has a short circuit, and this can cause inattention or impulsivity. Next is the limbic system. This is the part of the brain that regulates emotions. And whenever you have ADHD, you have a deficiency of dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter in the brain. And whenever you have this deficiency of dopamine, it usually results in restlessness, inattention, and emotional instability. And the last part of the brain that ADHD deals with is the reticular activating system. This is the major relay system between the brain's pathways, which this has to do with the dopamine deficiency, and the dopamine deficiency in this part of the brain causes impulsivity and hyperactivity. Next, we're going to be talking about signs and symptoms of ADHD. So usually the symptoms between children and adults with ADHD varies. So the symptoms of children with ADHD include daydreaming, forgetfulness or losing items, fidgeting or squirming, not being able to be still, talking too much, making careless mistakes, having trouble sharing, and difficulty getting along with others. This is why when children with ADHD are still in grade school, they're usually getting in trouble for these behaviors, and this is why. It's because they have ADHD. The symptoms of adults include impulsiveness, so still not thinking before you act, disorganization or forgetfulness, trouble prioritizing, poor time management skills, always being late, trouble focusing on a task or completing it so they leave it unfinished, trouble multitasking so they can only do one thing at once, and restlessness, always having to be moving and doing something. They have a short temper, get mad easily, frequent mood swings so they're irritable, and trouble coping with stress. Next, we're going to be talking about the causes of ADHD. The main cause of ADHD is unknown, but current research shows that genetics plays an important role in the cause of ADHD. Changes in brain chemicals or neurotransmitters is also a cause of ADHD, and like I said before, neurotransmitters help send messages in the brain, and dopamine is a neurotransmitter. And low amounts of dopamine causes ADHD symptoms to appear. Other possible causes of ADHD include brain injury, environmental exposure, so if you're exposed to lead during pregnancy or as a child, alcohol or tobacco use during pregnancy, premature delivery, or low birth weight. All of these are causes that have not been proven by scientists, but they are being researched, but they don't for sure cause ADHD. Some ADHD treatments. One ADHD treatment is behavior therapy, which is usually used by children, and the main treatment of ADHD is medication. The most common medications used to treat ADHD is Adderall, Vyvanse, and Focalin. Focalin is a medication usually used whenever you're still a child, and then you move on to Adderall or Vyvanse. Medications can affect people differently, but they often have the side effects of anxiety. They cause you to constantly be worrying about something. Insomnia, trouble falling asleep while the medicine's still in your system. Nausea, it makes you feel sick all the time. Weight loss or loss of appetite. You usually have a loss of appetite because you're nauseous, and then weight loss is because you have a loss of appetite. And vomiting because you feel nauseous. Nervousness, which has to do with anxiety, and irritability, which has to do with the mood swings. So, ADHD treatments, the medication treatment, it's not much better than not being treated, because you're going to be feeling all of these side effects, and whether you take your medicine or not, you're going to be not fitting in. Like, if you take the medication, you're constantly going to have anxiety and be worrying about something or feel nauseous. And then if you don't take the medication, then you're not going to be able to focus, and you're going to have to deal with hyperactivity and your brain being everywhere at once. Next, we're going to go over extra information that I found about ADHD from the CDC website. Millions of children in the United States have been diagnosed with ADHD. According to a national 2016 survey, 388,000 children aged 2 to 5 years have been diagnosed with ADHD. 2.4 million children aged 6 to 11 years, and 3.3 million children aged 12 to 17 years have been diagnosed with ADHD. Next, I'm going to tell y'all my experience with ADHD. ADHD has tremendously affected my everyday life and daily routine. Most of the symptoms are things that I have to deal with on a daily basis. I've never been able to complete a task, even as simple as getting ready in the morning, without being distracted. I'm always fidgeting. For example, as I type this presentation the whole time, my leg never stopped kicking or swinging. And my experience with ADHD medication is mainly all negative, because it causes me to have terrible anxiety. It makes me feel like I'm going to throw up the whole day, and sometimes I do. And also, it has caused weight loss for me. So I hope that y'all learned something about ADHD from my presentation, and I hope y'all have a good day. Thank you.